So welcome everyone. Maybe we are meeting after long time, after 1 month. So
Right.
start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate
Om
Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वती व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपाकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नमः नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So
Hare
welcome.
Krishna.
So we'll start our discussion. So we have last time we have concluded with fourth canto. So we will start with the fifth canto today. So fifth canto, fourth canto, we have seen that there is a description of descendants of Uttanapada. Like we have started with the third canto where the Brahmaji's creation being explained. So there Swayambhu Manu was the first person that was born to Brahmaji. And Swayambhu Manu has 3 daughters and 2 sons, Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti, and 2 sons, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. So Akuti and Prasuti, they were described in fourth canto, first chapter. Devahuti's description of Kapilidev that is described in third canto itself. And Uttanapada description, like his descendants like Dhruva Maharaj and Prithu Maharaj and Prachin Barhi, Prachetas, those are all we have covered in fourth canto. So now one more son that is left is Priyavrat Maharaj. So his descendants will be described in fifth canto. So this is this is what fifth canto, the descendants of Priyavrata Maharaj, that will be described. So in that section, in that connection, the story of Priyavrata Maharaj, how he got perfection, and his descendant, his son Agnidra story, and Nabi, his son, and Nabi, he worshipped the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord appeared as his son. So that is Rishabhadeva. So Rishabhadev's instructions and Rishabhadev's activities, those are mentioned in 3 chapters. And Rishabhadev's son was called as Bharat Maharaj. So he was the Bharat Maharaj by which our land was called as Bharata Varsha. So his activities are mentioned, and he becomes deer in his next life and becomes Jada. So his activities and teachings are covered in 8-9 chapters. And then in fifth canto, it is also called as Sthanam, where the description of various planetary systems, how they are situated in this universe, that is also described in around 9-10 chapters. So universal description, that is also there. So that will also we will cover. So this is how, and last chapter especially, it describes about the different kinds of hells where people who commit sins, they will go there. So hearing this, Parikshit Maharaj asks about how these people can be delivered. So that's when the glories of the holy name will come in the form of Ajamil story in the sixth canto. So this is the flow of fifth canto. So now, like fifth canto is like a kind of sthanam, means situation of different planets that is explained in last chapters. So the now coming to Maharaj Priyavrat activities. So Priyavrat Maharaj, previously it was mentioned that like Priyavrat Maharaj, he has he is taking instructions from Narada Muni and following the path of devotional service. But it was mentioned that he entered into household life, and then after entering household life, again after spending time in the household life, he again renounced. So hearing that, Parikshit Maharaj, he was kind of little surprised, and he kind of asked some questions in the starting. That so Priyavrat Maharaj, he was a great Mahabhagavata. He is Atma Rama. He is self-satisfied, and he was taking instructions from Narada Muni and completely practicing devotional service. So how could he enter into family life? How could he enter into in the gruha household life? And household life is especially the materialistic household life is mentioned that it creates bondage of karma, and it can defeat life's goal if one is engaged in materialistic activities. So why he has entered? So that is his question. And generally, like uh, he is like very much devoted to the devotional service. So how can such a person can entangle in this household life, absorbed in so many family activities? So they will not get materially attached, and because they are taking pleasure in meditation on the lotus feet of the Lord, so they don't want to engage in materialistic activities. So why he has engaged? And another doubt he expresses is that, so you mentioned that he is attached, like he was attached to his house, wife, children, everyone. Then how could he renounce everything and again attain perfection in the thought of Krishna, and again he attained perfection? So this is my doubt. Please clarify. So like that he put forward the questions to Shukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj. Shukadeva Goswami, when he heard these questions, so previously we have seen that Vidura, Maitreya, they have conversation. So in third canto and fourth canto, they had complete conversation. In the fifth canto, because Vidura has left for Hastinapur, now the conversation is between Parikshit Maharaj and Shukadeva Goswami. So now Shukadeva Goswami, in order to clarify this doubt, he states that what you have said is true. People who have started enjoying devotional service, whose mind was absorbed in the lotus feet of the Lord, generally they don't give up that path of devotional service, which is very very dear to these people. And but there may be some obstacles. So like. So there may be some obstacles to the path of devotional service. So these obstacles can come in the form of two types. One is like some obstacles can arise based on one's offenses. If someone commits a great offense, so that offense to great devotees can put obstacles in our path of devotional service. So, and when he gets that offense, whenever some person gets that offense to great devotees, then he may suffer for long time, and again after suffering for long time, then the effect of offense may little bit reduced, and then again he start practicing devotional service. Or in other case, when he realizes that he has committed an offense, and he immediately begs forgiveness from the person, and then he rectifies that situation and again starts engaging in devotional service. So that is one case of obstacle. And another case of obstacle that may come from the Lord's desire. So sometimes Lord also may desire to put some obstacles in the path of devotional service. But whenever that obstacle comes through the desire of the Lord, that will only increase the love of the devotee for the Lord. It is not like offense created by this thing. When someone commits an offense, it will decrease the devotional service. But offense, like when some by the desire of the Lord, if some obstacle comes, that will only increase the love for the Lord. It will not decrease. So that is the case of Bharat Maharaj, where Bharat Maharaj, he was got attracted to deer and he became deer in the next life. So there is kind of became an obstacle in the form of uh, he he became a deer, but the position of deer, and later on Jadabharat, there are like love increased later. He became very repentant. In order to Lord, why he put that obstacle is that in order to show that while practicing devotional service, one unnecessarily should not deviate in other material activities in order to show that it created. And Priyavrat Maharaj also, like because of the Lord's desire only, there is an obstacle in his devotional service. Here, in the case of Priyavrat Maharaj, Lord wanted to show that if someone it is a duty of disciples to follow the order of his superiors, although it may not be suitable for bhakti, and by that one will attain, by that one will also attain perfection. So, in this way, in order to show that it is this Priyavrata Maharaj, some obstacle has come. So, the story of Priyavrata Maharaj is that actually, as I mentioned, he was like uh, from his early days onwards, he was very much attached to devotional service because he was being trained by even Narada Muni also, and he was having lot of bliss and happiness in serving the Lord. So he did not have any inclination to rule the country. So because he was completely tasting the devotional service, he doesn't want to take that responsibility of the the kingdom and rule everyone, that power and all those things. He was not interested. So he was simply engaging in devotional service. But as we have seen, like Pracheta, that's why although Priyavrata was elder, Swayambhu Manu, he has made Uttanapada as the king, although Priyavrata Maharaj was the elder son. So because he was not so much interested in ruling, so Uttanapad became king, and that's how the descendants of Dhruva and Prudu and Prachetas have come. Now after Pracheta's son was Daksha. So Daksha, when he was born, in order to regain his previous powers, because he has committed offense to Shiva and he lost powers, so he went to perform tapasya. So when he went to perform tapasya, at that time there was no king in that kingdom. So seeing that there was no king, Swayambhu Manu at that time, he wanted to bring back Priyavrata Maharaj to rule, because Priyavrata Maharaj has so many wonderful qualities which are all suitable to become king. So therefore he wanted Priyavrata Maharaj to become king, and he wanted to retire, and he himself wanted to practice devotional service and relish that and want to go back to Godhead. So, but that was not agreeable to Priyavrata Maharaj, because Priyavrata Maharaj was relishing devotional service and he doesn't want to get entangled in ruling and family life, everything. So there is now a fight. Fight means fight in that kind of arguments. Like both are not accepting kind of are not argument, but he did not basically when Manu was requesting, Priyavrata Maharaj did not like that position. So it's like generally in this world we see people will fight for uh, kingdom. I want to rule. I want to rule. But here we can see these like these father and son. They are fighting there. You rule. I will retire. You rule. I will retire. I want to engage in devotional service. I want to relish. So in this way, there is like kind of competition. So Priyavrata Maharaj, knowing that Narada Muni is guiding, Swayambhu Manu know that Narada Muni is guiding him, so he has less hopes. So understanding the situation, Brahmaji, he has descended from his abode. So as we know, Brahmaji is the father of Swayambhu Manu. In Swayambhu Manu, he was trying to engage Priyavrata Maharaj in ruling the world. So understanding the situation that Brahmaji himself came from his abode to make Priyavrata Maharaj to rule the kingdom. So that's how Brahmaji has come. And when he has come, he was smiling and understanding. He was smiling to Priyavrata Maharaj with the compassion. So like he was when he came, Brahmaji, his Vahana is Hamsa Vahana. And he also accompanied by other Siddhas, Gandharvas. They are all praising Brahmaji. And all the Rishis, Maharshis also have come from Satyaloka. So in this way, and seeing Brahmaji, everyone praised him. Narada Muni also, Priyavrat Mani, Priyavrat Swayambhu, everyone welcomed Brahmaji with folded hands, understanding he is a great person. And Brahmaji, he was smiling and with compassion he was speaking because it's like a Priyavrat Maharaj is like a grandson to Brahmaji. And he was thinking that, oh, you are very much determined not to enter household life and remain brahmachari, but I will make you take the path of enter into household life. We will see sometimes there may be loving arguments between grandfather and grandson. So now it is like a I will give arguments and make you take to that kingdom, accept you kingdom. See which argument will win. Like that, he was kind of smiling, and also out of compassion, he's like, you are so attached to devotional service. I am so I'm very much satisfied. So, but I will give you my mercy. So that is like compassion. He is showing that even though you rule the kingdom, still your bhakti, jnana, and vairagya will not reduce. That will increase. Your bhakti will increase. So that is my benediction, my compassion. So like that, he was showing his compassion, and he starts giving his reasons why Priyavrata Maharaj should rule the kingdom. So he started saying that, "Oh Priyavrata Maharaj, please reflect on what I am speaking. I am speaking the truth. You should not hate the Lord, because whatever I am speaking, those are all coming from the Lord. So the personality, the Supreme Lord, is situated in my heart, and so through my heart he is instructing you. So these instructions what I am instructing, those are all coming from the Supreme Lord. So therefore you should not hate the Supreme Lord. He is beyond our estimation. We cannot estimate uh, his intelligence, his power. So therefore, even I myself, Lord Shiva, Manu, Narada, your Guru, they all, uh, everyone follows his order. So everyone follows his order, and therefore you also should follow his order. So he is in my heart and he is instructing you. So, and you can say that you cannot avoid the order of the Lord by any of the means. So, by you may say that like I will perform tapasya, I will perform by my knowledge or my yoga by other means. So no one can avoid the order of the Lord by other means, by austerities or education, yoga, intelligence, wealth or dharma. So you may give some arguments that, oh, the Lord who is in your heart is also there in through Narada. So he is making me renounce through Narada. So how can I desire? So you cannot give those arguments by your intelligence. You cannot defeat those orders of the Lord through your intelligence. Or you cannot say that I will rule the kingdom through others. So in that way, others will rule. So those will also that will not you cannot avoid on the strength of others or your own strength. You cannot defeat the order of the Lord. So everyone in this world, everyone their destination, they attain bodies according to the order of the Lord, and everyone's happiness, distress, or their lamentation, everything depends on the order of the Lord. So based on their past karma, the based on their thing, the Lord will give certain bodies to everyone. So everyone has to accept those positions, just as like citizens accept the order of the king. Sometimes the king may give them punishment, or sometimes he may reward them. So everyone should accept that order. So similarly, the all the living entities are has to accept the order of the Lord, like whatever bodies He has given, whatever situation He has given, and the law, like everyone is dependent upon the rules that he has set, like the Varnashrama, Dharmas, like everyone, just like a bull is controlled by the nose. Bull, the weakest part of a bull is that the nose, and when that bull is tied through that no, tied through that nose through a row, that bull will be controlled by the driver. So similarly, everyone in this world is bound by the duties of this Varnashrama system. So therefore, understand that whatever the Lord gives, that is best for us. Accept with faith whatever He gives. Just like a blind man, when a blind person, he has to depend upon, when he wants to walk, he has to depend upon other person who has eyes. So sometimes a blind man, when he is walking on hot sand, so there may be some cool path below the tree, but the person with the eyes may take him through the path which is there, through the hot sand path, because the person with the eyes, he may see there are thorns below the tree. So therefore, it is better to take through the hard path than the cool path. So that's why that blind person has to put that faith in the person who has eyes. See, similarly, one should have faith in the orders of the Lord. He should not argue with the Lord. In this way, he is saying. And as long as there is when a person who controls himself, and who like a person, even if he is liberated person, still, as long as his prarabdha karmas remain, he has to, like that body will undergo that results of those prarabdha karma. Either he enjoys or suffers. So just like a person who is like in a dream, when he was awake from the dream, he understands that whatever is there in the dream, that is a false identity, and he will not identify with that. See, similarly, even if he is a liberated person, like although he does not identify whatever the gunas will come, but the body he has to maintain. But he will not create future body, just like a person who is awake, he will not get entangled with the previous dream. He will not perform any actions which will create further bondage, further body. So in this way, he also enjoys and suffers karma, but he will not identify with that. So, like you are fearing to enter into take the responsibility of kingdom and that family life, but liberate the if a person is controlled in his senses, so even if he enter into household life, there is no danger. So, like it is like person who has controlled senses, who is Atmarama, there is household life cannot harm him. So therefore, you need not fear in entering this household life. So he gives one example that like these senses are compared to the wives of a person. Like all the senses, they are like they desire, they demand so many things. So therefore, although if a person, if he is able to conquer those senses, this household life is also compared to a fort. So fort means which will protect from outside forces. So previously also the Kashyap Muni also says this household life acts like a fort because the there will be a protection of each other in household life. So therefore, a person who has controlled the senses and having taken shelter of the fort, the enemies of the senses cannot harm him. So they will become very, very weak. So, and in that, you need not, for you, you need not so much worry because you have already taken shelter of the Supreme Lord. And therefore, your senses are completely absorbed in the Lord. So therefore, you should enjoy the objects given by the Lord. So, so you can take it this enjoyment given by the Lord, and later on, after enjoying those opulences given by the Lord, later on you can give up household life, and then you can worship the Lord. So basically, sometimes the Lord may give enjoyment to certain devotees, like Dhruva Maharaj, like Prithu Maharaj. They are all given their kingdoms. Prahlad, they were all given kingdom. Although they have seen the Lord, they have perfected their devotion, but still the Lord has awarded them so many opulences, knowing that they will not get entangled by that opulences. So Prahlad Maharaj and they all continued to rule the kingdom. So even after they saw the Lord. So in this way, whatever opulences that are given by the Lord, that will not create bondage, whatever enjoyment given by the Lord. So later on, when you have completely ruled, and that time again you can retire, and you can worship the Lord. So in this way, Brahmaji he has given several reasons for Priyavrat Maharaj to enter into household life and take the responsibility of ruling the kingdom. The main reason is that this order is coming from the Supreme Lord, and since you are already situated in devotional service, household life cannot deviate you, and you continue to perform your bhakti and at the same time perform the rule the kingdom, and the later on you can give up the kingdom and enter into the uh, enter again, you can perform the devotional service. So in this way, Brahmaji has given these words because there is a lot of need for Priyavrat Maharaj to rule the kingdom. So at that time, Priyavrat Maharaj, because Brahmaji has requested, he understood that the words of superiors like Brahmaji cannot be neglected. So uh, with respectfully, he accepted the words of Brahmaji. And Narada Muni also respectfully, like Narada Muni and Prevrat both respected Brahmaji and they were not disturbed that Brahmaji has disturbed their plans. So they followed the order of Brahmaji. And Manu, he became very happy because now he can perform devotional service. So in this way, his desire being fulfilled, he became detached and he continued to perform uh, devotional service. It is mentioned that he became detached from the desire to enjoy the poisonous ocean of disturbing material affairs. So these material affairs and these enjoying senses and material affair, they are compared to poisonous ocean because there is no end to this ocean, and this always gives trouble. Sense objects, although they may give some enjoyment, again they will give trouble, and there is no end to those desires because one may enjoy a sense object after some time, like suppose a gulab jamun nice object is there, one may enjoy for some time, but after eating some time he will get digested. But after some days again the desire to enjoy that gulab jamun will come. So there is no end for this enjoyment. It is like compared to the ocean of poison. So only by detachment one can come out. That means only by stopping the eating by determination, then only that enjoyment tendency will come down. So he could detach himself from that enjoyment, and in that way he was Manu continuously engaged in his devotional service and became happy. So in this way, Manu he that I mentioned. So Priyavrata Maharaj, so after he accepted that rule, he strictly he was he was a devotee and he was completely remembering the Lord and at the same time ruling the uh, ruling the world, and he followed the order of Brahmaji. He married Barhishmati, and Barhishmati he was the daughter of Vishwakarma, and through Barhishmati he produced 10 sons. So in this 10 sons, there are 3 Paramahamsas and 7 other sons. And one daughter called as Urjaswati. Urjaswati was later married to the, the Ushana Kavi, that is Shukracharya. And through other wife, he has produced 3 sons, Uttama, Tamsa, and Raivata. These 3 sons became Manus for third Manvantara, fourth Manvantara, and fifth Manvantara. In this way, his descendants were described. And Priyavrata, in this way, he ruled for 11 Arbuda years. Arbuda is like very, very long time, like thousands and thousands of years. He ruled because it is Satyuga. And it appeared that he was completely entangled in family life, completely entangled in like in the ruling and family life. But actually, he was a great soul. He was not lost, but it appeared that he was lost. So his great rule was mentioned. How Priyavrata Maharaj was so great that his greatness was compared to the sun was moving, and because of sun's movement sometimes there was darkness in some places in his kingdom, and he was not completely satisfied. He wanted to give more happiness to his citizens. So therefore he was like second sun. He was moving in the other direction. The like sun was moving in one area, and he was with his chariot. Moved in one more direction to create sunlight for the his people in the other areas. So he in that way he increased the pleasure of his citizens. So this is like how great Priyavrata Maharaj, because like uh, like we can understand that just like sun he was able to provide, the light to the world, all his kingdom, Bhumandala. So because of that, his movement through his chariot, there are like he used to move in the chariot which has like seven uh, different sizes of the wheels. Because of that, there were seven islands were created. So there were trenches that were formed. Because of that, there were Bhumandala got divided into seven Dvipas. So in that way, the whole Bhumandala got divided. And this activity, one may think that how the Priyavrat Maharaj was such a he
આપણે
was
બે બે વર્ષનો મુંબઈ લાવ્યો ત્યારે દોડતો હતો એ.
he was able to travel through just like sun. It may be astonishing. So Parikshit Maharaj he says that actually Parikshit Maharaj was a Priyavrat Maharaj was a great devotee. So therefore the devotee's power is not astonishing. He says one nice shloka. नैवं विदः पुरुषकारवुरुक्रमस्य पुंसां तदङ्घ्रिरजसा जितषड्गुणानां चित्रं विदूरविगत सकृतादतीत यन्नामधेयमधुना स जहाति बन्धम्. So naivam vidah purushakara urukramasya. So one should not feel this is like a very wonder, because he is a devotee of Lord Urukrama. Who is Urukrama? Urukrama is another name of Lord Vamana. So just like Vamanadev, he appeared as a dwarf, but when he became like Vamanadev, when he showed his Vishwarupa, he expanded through the whole universe. So he has such power. So similarly, the devotees who are dedicated to that such Lord, because they have dedicated their life to the lotus feet of that Lord, they are able to, who have conquered all their six anarthas. For them, it is not a wonder to perform such wonderfully great activities like moving through like a sun, because even a person who is like outcast, Vidura Vigata means outcast. If he takes even one time the name of the Lord, he will be able to give up all the bondage. So this verse is highlighting the power of the name of the Lord. Even if outcast, even if he chants, even one name of the Lord, that will destroy all his bandha, karma bandha. Such is the power of the holy name of the Lord. One should not think that such is this power of the holy name as an exaggeration, because the holy name has this power. If someone thinks it is an exaggeration, that is an offense to the holy name. So, and the practically one can see that people who chant the holy name, there are so many cases like Ajamil and others. They once chanted the holy name and they got liberated. So, this is the power of the holy name. So, what to speak of one who has taken shelter of the Lord, they can perform anything. So, that is the, so one should not get astonished by seeing the power of the devotee. So that's what he is saying. And also therefore, if one name can destroy all the karma bandha, that is like people who have not committing any offenses, one name is enough. So, but if people are committing offense, so they like we need to practice sadhana bhakti through that process of continuous regularly chanting the holy name. By that we will become free from all offenses and achieve the love of the Lord. The glory of the holy name is also praised here. Yan namadeyam aduna sadhati bandha. Namadeyam. So just by sakrut adadita, just by calling once, he will sajahati bandham. All the bandha will go away. The karma bandha. So in this way, Priyavrat greatness was mentioned. So Priyavrat, after in this way performing so many austerities, like ruling for so much long time, thousands and thousands of years, at one time he kind of developed kind of renunciation. So that renunciation is also mentioned. So he considered himself that, oh, I have entangled in my material activities. I have become like dancing monkey in my in wife's hands. So in this way, he was like kind of repentant, although he was a great soul. He is like kind of his, and he was thinking himself as got entangled in the materialistic activities, and he at once gave up the kingdom and gave that all his kingdom among distributed among his sons, and he went to again perform devotional service and attain the Lord by the Narada Muni's grace. So in this way, glory of Privrat Maharaj was mentioned, and there are some shlokas which glorify the Privrat Maharaj. So how the Privrat Maharaj was a great person. So it was mentioned that he, like his actions were compared to the, like no one except Supreme Lord can perform the actions that he has performed. By traveling through a chariot by a wheel, he created 7 oceans, and through that chariot he destroyed the darkness of night. He created 7 oceans, and he made in the Bhumandala. He divided the, like he arranged the situation so that the people can benefit, and he divided in such a way that natural divisions like rivers and mountains and forests divides the country so that there will be no quarrels among the people. So, and he considered even the wealth of all the kingdom in the heaven or Swarga or below the earth, everything to be equal to hell, and he renounced everything and he attained the Lord. Such is the glory of Priyavrata Maharaj. So this is the story of Priyavrata Maharaj. He has attained perfection. So after Priyavrata Maharaj, the activities of his son Agnidra were mentioned. So Agnidra, he attained the kingdom, like Priyavrata Maharaj had 7 sons, like he has 10 sons. Out of them, 3 became Paramahamsas. They took to renounced order. 7 became kings of the 7 Dvipas. Bhumandala was divided into 7 Dvipas. So Priyavrata Maharaj gave 7 Dvipas to 7 of his sons. So Agnidra was his first son, and he ruled Jambu Dvipa. It is a middle son. So it is a middle island, Jambu Dvipa. When we come to geography at that time, we will see. So Agnidra started ruling Jambu Dvipa according to dharma, according to religious principles. So he followed all the dharma. So the main duty of a king in following the religious principles is to make sure that all the citizens are following Varnashram dharma. So that is the main duty of a king. So he perfectly following that principle, and he wanted to have a son, nice son, because he had a desire to go to Pitraloka. So therefore, he went to worship Brahmaji in the Mandara hill. So here, one point was noted by our acharyas is that, like Privrat Maharaj, he was a great devotee of the Lord, but Agnidra, he had a desire, material desires to go to Pitraloka, and he was also worshipping Brahmaji instead of worshipping the Supreme Lord. So why those desires were there? It was mentioned that, like Privrat Maharaj, Agnidra was born when Privrat Maharaj was uh, like uh, like he was affected by lust. So that's why it was mentioned that, like Garbhadhana Samskara is a ritual that was mentioned in Vedic scriptures, where while procreating, the persons, they perform devotional service, and with pure consciousness they will invite great souls. So in that way, Garbhanadana Samskara is stressed in Vedic literature. And but at the time of conception, whatever the consciousness a person has, that kind of soul will enter into the body. So that's how it is mentioned. So Agnidra, he has these desires to enjoy. So therefore, he started worshipping Brahmaji. So Brahmaji, he understood the desire of Agnidra because he was worshipping him. And he sent an Apsara called as Purvachitti from Brahmaloka. So Agnidra, he was that place where he was there, it was very celestial place. So when he saw that Purvachitti, that Apsara, he was like completely captivated by her beauty. And he kind of he kind of attracted, and he started speaking very very flattering her with very words. It was mentioned that Prabhupada, when he was writing this, he always quotes when yogis and others who are not devotees, when they are practicing austerities, it is very like sometimes they are diverted by other personalities like Apsaras and others. Like Vishwamitra Muni also got diverted by Menaka and others. But a devotee is when they are performing devotional service, it is very difficult. They will not get deviated easily. And he quotes the example of Haridas Thakur. And so Agnidra, he has a desire to go to Pitraloka, and he was having a nice son. And seeing this Apsara, he got attracted, and he prized that Puruchitti, and Puruchitti got also attracted to this Agnidra, and they both married. So Agnidra and Puruchitti, through them, 9 sons were born. So these 9 sons, the names of these 9 sons were corresponding to the 9 kingdoms later on they acquired. So this is like Jambudvipa. So many times we also heard what Jambudvipa. So Jambudvipa, when we see geography, that time we will more understand. So this is like in a form of a circular disc, Jambudvipa. And in that Jambudvipa, there is a 9 divisions according to like Agnidra has 9 sons. So through that 9 divisions are there. In that the southernmost part is what is called as Bharatavarsha. So this Bharatavarsha is again divided into 9 parts. Out of them, one of the part is actually the whole earth, what we are seeing. So this is not the geography of this thing that is described is very carefully understood, should be carefully understood. So our earth is like one part of this Bharatavarsha. When we say Bharatavarsha, it is much more than India, much more than even Mother Earth, Earth planet also. So this Earth is like Bhugola, which is like in the shape of a Bhugola, and the other 9 other islands are also there. Together, it is called as Bharatavarsha. And the Himalayas that was mentioned here, it is like not the Himalayas. These are like greater Himalayas, more than the Himalayas that we see in our Earth. So in that way, we can understand this. So there are like 9 divisions that are there that were mentioned, and 9 sons. They were all given these 9 sons, these 9 lands. So and Agnidra, after he was after some time, Puruchitti, she gave birth to these 9 sons, and when they grew up, Puruchitti left and went back to her abode. So Agnidra, he was not yet satisfied with like he also wanted to go to Puruchitti's place. So after his death, he went back to that planet where his Puruchitti was residing. So in this way, Agnidra went back. So his 9 sons, they were all married to 9 daughters of Meru. So in this way, Agnidra's life was mentioned. So the life of like after Agnidra, the eldest son was Nabi. So Nabi got married to Meru Devi, the daughter of Meru Parvat. So Nabi and Meru Devi, they uh, the, they ruled the what is called as Bharata Varsha. So at that time, this Bharata Varsha is called as Ajanaba. It is not yet called as Bharata Varsha because Bharata Varsha, that name came from the Bharata, that son of Rishabdev, who is son of Nabi. So this Nabi, he uh, he desired a son. So his desire is to have a son who is similar to the Supreme Lord, who is like having the same powers as the Supreme Lord. So with that desire, Nabi started performing a sacrifice. So Nabi engaged his priests in performing sacrifice. So in that sacrifice, there are like 7 ways of performing sacrifice through Desha, Kala, and other means. So there are so many regulations in performing sacrifice, and so many priests are required. According to suitable time and place, one should perform sacrifice. But the actual reason to please the Lord is not different rules and regulations and all those things, but actual reason for the Lord becoming pleasing the Lord is the devotion one has while performing any activity. So with that, when he performed that sacrifice, the Lord himself appeared because he was pleased, with the devotion of the Nabi and his priests, because they had devotion, they are worshipping the Lord, and he showed his wonderful, uh, wonderful form, which is like Lord has very very beautiful limbs, and he was very much satisfied with the bhakti of Nabi and his priests, and he showed himself, and that form of the Lord, it increased the bliss for the mind and eye of his devotees. So although he is not controlled by other people, he is very much controlled by his devotees, and they could see the form of the Lord, that Vishnu, his form is described. How he is like he came in the Garuda, and he is wearing yellow cloth. He is having 4 arms, and he is having shining Srivatsa, and he is holding Shankha Chakra Gadadhara. He is having nice necklace on his neck. He is wearing Makara Kondala, and bracelets, belt and necklace, armbands, Nupura, everything very, very shining. That beautiful form of the Lord is described. And seeing them, the priests, they became very enlivened, and they offered prayers. These priests of Nabi, they were all devotees of the Lord. So they offer wonderful prayers. So in their prayers, the priests basically say that it was a prose, not a verses, but in a prose way, they praise the Lord. That, O Lord, we are all your followers, and please accept our repeated respects. We are following the instructions of the great devotees. Persons, you are all, your form is completely transcendental. All your attributes are transcendental, and person who is affected by material gunas, he cannot understand you. So, but you only appear by the devotion, and actually, we have like you are simply satisfied by persons who has devotion, and who simply offer you some prayers, and who offer you some water, tulsi leaves, durva grass, birds. Simple worship, you are completely satisfied, and there is no need for this elaborate sacrifice to please you. Like this and what we have performed, this elaborate sacrifice, you don't require those sacrifice, like and you are self-satisfied. So you, like, generally in a sacrifice means what? We sacrifice some of our things for the higher being for their pleasure. This is generally the word English sacrifice means we are uh, like that word itself says that we are uh, giving up something which is dear to us, or something like which is difficult, we are performing for the pleasure of the other person. That is like sacrifice. Like we are doing some activity for the pleasure of others, even though that activity may give some pain to us. That is like kind of sacrifice. So in a Vedic sacrifice, all the dravyas, like so many ghee and other things, they are all offered to the fire, so that they will be carried to the different devatas. So for their pleasure, they are doing. So, but in general, like if someone is giving some object to some other person in need, so that other person will gain. And even for the devatas also, if someone offers the offerings to the devatas, devatas also will receive them and they will also benefit for them, and therefore they offer benedictions. But for the Supreme Lord, he is completely self-satisfied. He doesn't require anyone else's offerings. So therefore, for the Lord, there is no requirement of any sacrifice, the offerings for the Lord to receive. So all these sacrifices that we are doing so that we will receive some benedictions from you. So therefore, you doesn't require, and you doesn't require this elaborate sacrifice also. You are simply satisfied with little worship of the devotee with the devotion. So we have just being ignorant, we have performed all these things, and you are like you give benedictions like liberation and other giving yourself to the devotees. So although we have not worshipped you properly, but still you have appeared. That itself is the greatest benediction. So your appearance itself is greatest benediction for us. You are the supremely worshipable person. You can give lot of so many boons you can give your Varadarshava. But your already benediction we have got is your appearance itself is greatest benediction for us. And so like because sometimes like whatever we already have, it is very the grateful heart. Sometimes it is mentioned that whatever we already have, if we are grateful for that and thanking the Lord, that is called as grateful heart. Like, so Lord is already benedicting us with so many benedictions, like so many material things and so many spiritual things also. Is providing opportunity to hear Bhagavatam, opportunity to chant the holy name, worship the deities, associate with the devotees. These are all the so many benedictions he is giving. So if we are appreciating those benedictions and offer our gratitude, the Lord will be pleased. So here, all the priests, they are saying that your appearance itself is our benediction. Just by seeing, because your personal presence is very, very rare, even for the people who are freed from material activities and feel spiritual bliss. For the great people also, your personal presence is very rare. But now we have attained your personal presence. That itself is great boon for us. So in this way, oh Lord, they are expressing their gratitude for the Lord, and they are saying that please help us remember you at the time of our death, because at the time of death and other time of calamities, it is very difficult to remember you. So please make us remember you. That is while we are suffering hunger, falling down. So please make us remember because we are not able to remember you. So in this way they told, and they were like kind of little bit ashamed because they were asking some material. They performed that sacrifice for some material boon. So they are saying that this Nabi, he wanted to, his desire is to have a son like you. So although you can give greatest benedictions like Swarga or liberation, but he is asking for some material desire. This is like compared to a poor person approaching a rich person and asking for some uh, few grains. So it is like rich person can give so many things, but he is asking for some very few things. So similarly, he is a foolish person. He is asking to have a son like you, having some asking some material desire. Why? Because it is a material desire. Because he was having that I want to have a son who by that I will attain fame. Like that, sometimes son will give fame. A great son will give great fame for the father. So in that it is like a that is why it is compared to a material desire. So because but he is not desiring you. He is not desiring devotion to you. So that is his foolishness. Like that they are saying, although Nabi is a devotee of the Lord, but he is having this mentality of wanting to have a great son. But his good thing is that he is desiring to have a son like the Lord. So they are saying that why he has such material desires? Because he never worshipped great devotees. Unless one worship great devotees, one cannot conquer Maya. So therefore, without worshipping great devotees, he is having all these material desires. So therefore, he is asking. We are ashamed to call you for such a materially motivated sacrifice. Oh Lord, please forgive us. So like that, the priests were expressing their gratitude for the Lord's appearance and praising the Lord, and they are like repentant or like they are ashamed for having some material desire. In this way, they glorified the Lord. The Lord was satisfied with the priest's devotion and also with the Nabi's devotion. And he said that you are having a desire, you are having a benediction to have a son as powerful as me, but that desire is very difficult to fulfill because there is no one as powerful as me. So therefore, but still your brahmanas, your mouth, your whatever you speak, that is like my mouth, these speeches cannot prove untrue. So therefore, I myself appear as I expand myself and appear as his son. So in that way, I will fulfill your desire. So in this way, he benedicted them, and I will appear as son of Nabi and Meru Devi. So in this way, Lord will appear as son of Nabi and Mary Devi as Rishabhadev. So the character of Rishabhadev will be mentioned in the next section. So we will see the activities of Rishabhadev and how Nabi also attained. Nabi, although he had a desire, this material desire to have a son like the Lord, but because the Lord Himself has appeared as His Son, finally He has developed that love for the Lord. He has developed Vatsalya Bhava to the Lord. So this shows that although one may worship the Lord with material desires, but still that ultimately that person will benefit because he becomes advanced through the devotional service and he develops love for the Lord. That is also shown through this example of Nabi. He has developed Vatsalya Rasa towards Rishabhadev and he has attained perfection in when he progressed. In this way, Nabi also attained his perfection. And Nabi's glory is, it was mentioned that Nabi is a person who worshipped Brahmanas, and those Brahmanas showed even the Supreme Lord to him. And he has developed Vatsalya Rasa to the Lord. So that is the glory of the Nabi. So in this way, We are seeing the great kingdoms, the great kings, the activities of great kings, Priyavrata Maharaj, Agnidra, Navi. These three personalities we have seen. So next time we will discuss the characteristic of the Lord Rishabdev. Lord himself has appeared as Rishabdev. We will see his characteristics and his teachings. He instructs his sons, his teachings, and teachings are very, very famous. Srila Prabhupada always quotes Lord Rishabdev's teachings to his sons. So that also we will discuss next time. So we'll stop here. Thank you everyone for your patient listening.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We have to become Nabi slowly, slowly. That is our desire.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Hare Krishna,
Jai.
Prabhu.
प्रभु कब आ रहे हैं बॉम्बे?
I will, yes, Prabhu. I will call you. Thank you.